Wrestling Podcast. And his name is John Cena.
It's great to be here, live, recorded here in Brittany's condo.
Yeah.
Did the Mick Foley intro. Right here in Brittany's condo.
Woo!
Coming to you live from the condo. The studio condo, that doesn't work. The studio apartment can never be stopped.
It's not an apartment. I paid good money for that.
I know.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because a condo and apartment's the same thing. It just means you signed a mortgage, right? Like,
Yeah, it just
basically.
means that I'm in debt for a long time, rather than just, my money vanishing to a landlord.
Yeah.
And if you don't pay,
Gotta fix
the
my
banks will
credit.
come down on you with no mercy.
Oh!
Leaving you feeling raw. Friday, October 14th, 2016 is the date, and you're listening to On the Heels Wrestling Podcast. Are you now hype, Ray?
I am so fucking hyped.
All right, I'm Kyle.
I'm Ray.
And I'm Brittany.
We're three former co-workers who were hanging around in the back break room office. What the fuck? Okay.
I rewrote this last time.
Okay. I don't remember this shit. All right, I'm going to start again.
No, just go. It's cool. We're keeping it raw.
I'll keep it raw.
Don't show them any mercy.
So, okay, so...
This is so bad.
Yeah, this is really bad. We're three
rusty.
former co-workers. We hang around. We do things.
Do
We
you want me
talk.
to do this part?
No,
it's fine.
no, I got
And
this.
don't edit any of this. I think people need to hear
The
sometimes.
struggle?
Yeah,
The struggle
is
right
real.
now?
We work hard every day.
Yeah, yeah.
We record every day. Well, not really. We'd probably be better
Wine
if we
and
did.
dine, I'm poking baby.
I can't read. We are three former coworkers who were hanging around the break room at the office, and one day we learned we shared a love for pro wrestling. So we started this podcast. It gave us the space to shoot on all the aspects of our favorite pastime without the confused looks we would get from the rest of the office.
I'm so proud of you.
Fuck! Alright, go ahead.
I mean, you should not edit any of that. And every time we say love, like my spidey sense tingles. I'm like, I like it. I watch it all. I don't know about love. That's a strong word. This podcast is all about giving you a consistent, bite-sized commentary on the world of professional wrestling, focused primarily on the WWE's ever-expanding waistline of shows, though we occasionally touch on indies and internationals and local stuff.
Cool. Every week we'll either recap the previous week's WWE weekly shows, network specials, pay-per-views, what have you, or we'll hold some sort of roundtable discussion on a particular topic. This week we'll be recapping the first SmackDown Live network exclusive pay-per-view, No Mercy.
Wait, this isn't the first one. This is the second one.
What?
It's the second?
Yeah, remember?
That implies that I actually watched SmackDown.
The first one that we felt like giving a damn about?
Yeah, the first one
This
was...
week, we'll be recapping the first SmackDown Live Network exclusive pay-per-view that we actually give a damn about.
Yeah.
No Mercy.
Yes.
And the awesome shit that's been happening on Raw.
Yeah, Raw's been good.
Are you happy, Ray?
I'm not happy.
Are you hyped?
I am hype.
All right.
I'll let you know if you edit any of this and I hear it. I'll be pissed. All right, so yeah, No Mercy. Interesting marketing debate tactic type thing. So the presidential debate and Sunday Night Football and No Mercy are all on at the same time. So, in a surprise to no one, they made the historic decision to have the main event first.
I also love that they describe everything as historic when they
Yes.
change their minds and
Yeah.
break away from the norm.
When they bitch out, it's historic.
So
Our
they-
ratings are gonna suck. Let's at least get the title.
And if you're on that card, that must feel pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
But they have that match, and it definitely ends just in time to change the channel. I was
Cena
keeping the
and
clock up.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna watch that fucking tire fire of a debate, but I wanted to watch
The
a
game
football
started.
game. It's the game's fucking started, yeah. Which was also a tire fire since I'm a Giants fan. But that said, that match was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
But I want to invoke the line from a previous episode, the spirit of the argument being, you just can't have too much of a good thing, right? So with these matches lately, right, you're just eating dessert all the time, and dessert's great. Like, my wife's away right now, I'm eating dessert all the time. But eventually, how do you have dessert for dessert? It's all the same. So when you have these awesome matches, and then it ends with a shitty chair shot, as much as I love heel AJ, and he's fucking great at it, that was kind of a dud, the way that ended for how good that match was, right?
Yeah, okay.
Non-stop kicking out of finishers, awesome moves, an actual good triple threat match, and then, chair shot, donezo. I don't want to get too smarky, but I was like, eh.
I also thought it was a little not fresh just because they did this so recently with NXT. Mind you, it was still a couple months
yeah,
back.
the double.
The double.
The double pin, they had Samoa Joe and Sami Zayn both pin Baron Corbin at the same time.
And then the ladies did that a couple times too.
Yes, so this is like their new like go-to. We want to make it interesting at
Which
the
is
end.
what invoked that feeling. Like, I'm like, man, how many double pins do we need? You do like one
Nobody
a
wants
year,
to-
tops.
Nobody wants to put anybody over.
The thing that I am happy about is that they resolved this
Immediately.
in the match,
Decisively.
immediately.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
this like, oh, we're gonna wait 2 weeks and have a tournament and figure it all out.
No, it's like, no, fuck this,
the
restart.
ref's like, no, we're gonna keep going.
Well, I'll say, like, even the immediate resolution thing's starting to get old because, like, when they started introducing the general managers, that like they kept coming out and saying, no way, I let it end like this, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, the second that double pin happened, I'm like, oh, if somebody's gonna say nope, it has to continue, and then that happens, and
See,
I'm like,
It's
This
almost
is-
like wrestling storylines repeat themselves over the
Yeah.
course of history.
See,
but
this,
give us a couple of months cool down.
so this is why...
I'm not drunk enough to forget that
Yeah,
much.
this is why I occasionally like having, instead of triple threats, the three-way dance.
Yeah.
Where it's elimination style and like he's fucking out. Like like in that situation, AJ's out. AJ just lost. Like
That'd be great.
That then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, new champion. We don't know who.
And they're playing up the whole angle with Cena potentially tying Ric Flair,
Yeah.
and it's like if you had Cena and Dean Ambrose there,
Oh yeah, I want to bring that up. So
Yeah.
what are your guys' feelings about this time around? Because I mean, this is the second
we
attempt.
talked about it previously when
Yeah.
he had the like 15 time on his T-shirt, and we all thought he was going to win it
Yeah.
because they're now marketing it as like he's very.
Yeah, it was a surprise that he didn't, right?
It was
Yeah.
actually.
And how do you guys feel about like if he gets it? Like, because some people feel a way about it.
If he wins now,
If he wins now.
If he wins now, he ties Flair's record, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how this works.
I
So
think you got to do it now while he's still at the top of his game.
rather than when he's as old as Flair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather than Goldberg run at 50 fucking years old.
I feel like that I have been
get to
watching
that.
wrestling long enough the past like 5-6 years, however long it's been, that I have enough respect for Cena now that I'd be okay if he tied the record.
Yeah.
I'd feel conflicted if he beat it.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, but if this was 4 years ago, I would have said, no, fuck that, no way, Cena can't tie the record, blah, blah, blah. But I feel
Getting
like
it to
I've
the
seen
point
him
now
earn it.
where it's like, so like when they talk about like modern sports, like playoff type stuff, since they
Yeah.
have like more rounds, they'll kind of say, oh, we got to look at these stats with a grain of salt because they play more games.
Yeah.
It's like,
They also didn't have steroids.
Yeah.
well, yeah, but like there's so, it's a good point. They have so many different
Wrestling
titles
always had
now
steroids.
that it's like easier to be a multi-time champion because like world champion now can be 3 different belts.
They just combine the
right.
lineage of all of them.
Yeah, and then... Yeah, I mean, that's always what was impressive about
Right.
Flair was like, he was that many in the NWA and WCW, and that was it.
Yep, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And,
then
like-
came to WWF/E, did it
It
there.
did it
and then-
once, yeah. So like, but it's more impressive. Like most of them were
Exactly.
in one place,
Right. And Cena hasn't really suffered from that too much.
Yeah.
Like,
Cena's only been in one place.
So,
yeah, but I mean, like, he's never, it's not like, for example, you can say Kane is a world champion.
Yeah.
Right? But it was always the secondary title.
Yeah.
Cena pretty much always was the top guy when he was winning it. So
Yeah.
I think he deserved it. Him beating it, like, I would feel similarly in terms of, like, but at the same time, he is, like, the biggest, you know, like, people, he is wrestling
Yeah.
to, like, this generation of, like, casuals, right? So,
So,
Casuals.
so
Filthy
it's
casuals.
it's
Right.
so casual. So I'm kind
needs
of
something. He's the one on the fucking Teen Choice Awards.
so I'm more on the fence on this than I've ever been. Because last year I was like, I like Cena, but I don't want to put him in the same conversation as Flair.
Yeah.
Because Flair is in the same conversation as Macho Man, as Bret Hart, as Shawn Michaels, as the best of all time, and like putting him in that spot. I'm sorry, like
I know the way that ends any debate or any hesitation over this.
What?
He breaks that record as a heel.
Oh,
That's not gonna
that's
happen.
never
I
gonna
know,
happen.
but if
But,
he were to
yeah,
bring it as a heel,
everybody
everyone's
was
all
on
in.
board.
Because when you talk about all those other people, they had different runs. They had heel
Yeah.
and face, so
Oh,
you think
yeah.
of them as more complete. Whereas the thing against John Cena people don't like is it's been
The same
15
thing.
world titles of the same
gimmick.
thing.
I mean,
right?
there was the Professor of Thugonomics in there a little bit.
But
Oh,
that,
yeah.
yeah, but
we don't think about that part as
Yeah.
much. But yeah.
But you know
Everyone
what?
has their early career.
here's why I'm on the fence as opposed to just being totally against it is I want to give him, like, with all the shit that he's done in this last, like, year and a half, I want to give him the title.
Exactly. You feel like he's earned it.
He's earned the title. Maybe not the record, but definitely the title, which is really hard.
Let's see, walked around with the U.S. title as if it were the 16th time and
it was
elevated
amazing.
it that well.
I wish Roman could do that.
Cena is doing his job as a veteran face of the company.
And
he is trying to get the new guys over and focus on them. When he could very well just be the guy who says, "Fuck it, I'm all here. I'm Hogan."
Yeah,
because that's
what happened at the end of
even
history.
trying. Like I'd say, like, has there been someone he hasn't put over in the last year?
I don't know, man.
Right?
He even put over Rusev.
He even put over Rusev. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about Ziggler.
Oh yeah.
Well, hold on. Like, actually, did we even talk about that? We just started talking about Cena. So the end of that match, like. You liked it? Or not the specific ending, but like where they're going with
I was
Styles
not expecting Styles to retain.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, no.
I was expecting either Ambrose to get it. I didn't think that they would give it to Cena because the way that they've been booking Cena, it's not automatic that he's going to win it every time now.
Yeah.
So it was just a matter of like, are Ambrose and Styles going to trade it back and forth?
I thought there was no chance. In fact, during this whole match, I was like, I just felt sorry for Ambrose. He felt like an add-on.
Yeah.
Like I felt like he ascended and just basically has been plummeting.
Yeah.
Because AJ, like he's not going to be a heel, right? He's not. I don't think he's that great at being a heel, Ambrose.
Yeah.
AJ is awesome at it, and then you're in this weird middle ground. Like you're not going to be more face than Cena, so you're just kind of hanging out. You know?
I think Austin called him out correctly. Like, hey, you did really good on your way up here. You need to keep going.
Yeah.
And Ambrose is just like, I'm doing fine.
It's like you plateaued.
Yeah, you plateaued. And Austin saw it coming.
You're playing with the big boys now.
Yeah.
So it's time to give the devil his due.
Yes.
For all the times we
Ziggler
shit on
versus
Ziggler
Miz.
and make him the metaphor for mediocrity.
He literally stole the show.
Yeah.
This was my favorite match.
I love the story leading up to it too.
Yeah,
the
it was like,
the promo.
They played
like,
into the fact that Ziggler's booked to lose all the time.
So meta.
I'm like, he could lose this because he loses. Oh my god, this might be Ziggler's last match. I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be fucking amazing.
Yeah,
and it was.
Yeah,
and I like the Spirit Squad angle.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting that they only have a couple of them because one of the Spirit Squad guys is actually in NXT.
Yeah,
so they couldn't have him involved. Cause
that's weird.
The weird universe thing. I don't know. Whatever.
It's hard for me, like, to break away from. Like, we all have our wrestling fan brain moments, right?
Yeah.
The hardest one for me to break away from is any of those career-threatening matches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I just never believe that will ever happen.
Yeah.
So...
unless they're, like, really old or, like...
Yeah, but then in which case, then the circumstance isn't there, you know?
Yeah, but... Well, sometimes. But I think...
I think if you were to book that match in this day and age, this is the match to do it in.
Yeah.
Because you're like... Because Ziggler's had contract disputes in the past.
Yeah.
And... He's been...
Well, see, that's a way to make it seem like it could go either way, right?
Yeah.
Like, then you can go back and think about the old Punk stuff, right?
Right.
And be like, oh, shit, we don't actually know. Like, and that's awesome. But, like, he just feels like such a company man who just, you know, takes it that it was like...
Yeah, I think that wasn't the story that they were trying to tell. Though.
And that's why it's cool that they brought that up and then rode with that, and almost surprising that they did, because much like a lot of the stuff in the last year where they talked about the new era, they have to basically... shit talk themselves a little bit to make that angle work, right? They'd be like, it was our fault we never gave him a chance in some ways,
I also
right?
like that he's now a 5-time champion.
Yeah.
I think that's really impressive.
Yeah.
And like looking at that number, it's like he's put in the work, he's done the time, he's elevated people in the mid card. He deserves to be a 5-time IC champ.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the one thing I want to illustrate here that will segue us into the next match is, or in the next big match of No Mercy is, so Ziggler, throughout the entire story of this month on SmackDown that I'm watching, is probably the only big interesting thing I'm watching is he's so vulnerable. Even when talking on commentary, he's like, I don't know what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And it's like very like,
These are some of the best promos I've ever seen him do.
Yeah, he's like very like, I could lose this and I could leave and all this stuff, and like, it's not it's the Miz, so fuck him. Like, no, you know, like...
I now know Ray's wrestling character. The Miz, fuck him.
Fuck him. Okay.
Just the idea that the template is, it's this, insert name, fuck him.
Fuck him. Now, let's get to Randy Orton and Wyatt. So Randy Orton...
He says the same thing, you just can tell he doesn't care. That's a Miz, fuck him.
Yeah. So, like, Randy Orton, in the last two big stories with him, has been basically that. Oh, Brock Lesnar? Yeah, fuck him.
I'm Randy Orton.
Yeah, I'm Randy
Third
Orton.
generation superstar.
And he like so fucking like just nonchalant, like very
He's trying to exude confidence, and instead it's coming off as he doesn't
arrogant.
care. Yes.
Yeah, very arrogant. And the same thing with Wyatt. Wyatt's, oh, I can be scary too. Whatever. Fuck him. And it's just like, you do that and then you lose.
If your dads were wrestlers, can you please put in some effort?
Yeah.
They're basically both doing like Billy Bob Thornton Bad Santa. Like, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Swig of alcohol.
I just need some money.
But like, look at like the New Day and the Wyatts. Like, fucking scared. I'm so scared. And like, it brings that guy up. And then if you win, it makes you look awesome.
Yeah.
Whereas like, if you don't do that and you don't win, you look like an asshole. And you look like a loser. And you look like you're just like exuding this confidence for what? And so that, to me, like, building this story up, and then the match itself was
Yeah. To like tie it back to kind of what we were saying before about Cena and stuff. Like if Cena won tomorrow, you wouldn't like, it wouldn't blow your mind.
Yeah.
You'd be like, you know what, he's earned it. He's wrestled great, right?
Yeah.
To build Randy Orton back up to that status is going to take some fucking work.
A lot of work.
And I don't think he's young enough to be able to put in that work.
No.
And
I don't think he wants it enough to put it to do that work.
I mean, he's nearing the end of his career. He's
Yeah.
kind of tired. There was a question of whether or not he was even going to wrestle, and then he came back at SummerSlam and got his head caved in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I want to talk about Raw.
Yep.
It's October. I don't know if you guys knew it was October.
It's October.
Yeah, the that wonderful pink middle rope. But it's not all about pink. It's more than pink, which I'm actually okay with.
Yeah.
Speaking of pink, I'm gonna kill myself for that. Women, damn it!
Great segue,
I know.
Brittany.
Oh, I'm the worst.
I can't even
God.
perceive the intent there, but
I know, God, fucking like angry feminist Brittany is just beating herself to death right now. So 2 weeks ago, we actually had a historic moment.
Yes, we did.
I don't feel like that is like hyperbole. I feel like that is like legit, and that is the way you describe that, where you have the second time in the history of WWE, you have the women main event Raw.
Yeah, last time was Lita and Trish.
Yeah.
And that was like fucking huge. That was a fucking huge match.
Right. And it's like, and I knew Charlotte and Sasha were having a title match because I'd heard about that, but for some reason I missed.
Everybody did. Nobody. It was not announced until like that night.
And then it was just kind of like, oh, by the way, yeah, it's a main event. And they acted like it was no big thing. Like, of course this is the main event.
Yeah.
They acted like it was
This
a
is
big
awesome.
thing, you know, this last week in the promos.
Yes.
But at the time, they were just like,
After it's happened, they're like, this was amazing, look what we did, we're going to pat ourselves on the back. And it's like, well, of course, because you're WWE.
Yeah.
But it's like the way that they did it was great. They have the match. Charlotte does her corkscrew moonsault off the top rope.
Fuck yes.
Because it's like, how do you top that crazy moonsault you only save for pay-per-views for this historic moment? Oh, I just had a corkscrew, no big deal.
Yeah, and get up right away like it was nothing.
So Sasha
She's
wins the belt.
insane.
She's now 2-time Raw Women's Champion.
Awesome.
which
only
is
wins
excellent.
on Raw. So it
Yes.
makes it perfect as
So
the Raw Women's
Charlotte
Champion.
still
Not the
has the
pay-per-view
storyline.
Women's Champion,
Yeah.
but...
Charlotte still has a storyline if she's undefeated
At
at
pay-per-views.
pay-per-view. She's like 12-0.
Yeah.
On Raw, which is great. So yeah, I'm extremely happy with what they're doing with the women now. And then this week happens.
Yeah.
Where they have the women open the show. Fantastic. Sasha Banks music hits. Crowd goes fucking crazy. Oakland, it's awesome. They come out, they have a little bit of promo, and then suddenly Rusev's music hits.
Yeah, hold on. All right.
Before
Fucking no. So mad that even happens,
Yeah.
right? Like, don't even need feminist excuses, whatever. Like, these people don't need that shit in their awesome promo. Why are you doing this? It like I described it to Ray as this is a Vince ass booking. I am so mad.
So you know what I think it is? I think it is totally. We have to save Roman. Like the ship is sinking on Roman.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I was
the ship
like,
is totally sinking on
yeah.
Roman.
the women are over. Let's have the women carry Roman.
Yep, that like in my head, boom, like wow, like they're hoping the power of Sasha gets him over. Jeez, good luck.
That is incredible that we're
think
at
about,
that point.
Think
Yeah.
about this, like of all like the main toys and merchandise, it's always like they put in like Cena, The Rock, and Roman, and like Roman's not even relevant to like anything that's going on in wrestling right now, and it's like fucking that ship is sinking like crazy right now.
They're still booing him incessantly, and you can hear them. Like,
and they dropped him down to mid card.
yeah,
and they
he
should have
still gets
saved
booed.
him.
It still gets booed.
Yeah.
Like, it's terrible. But at the same time, it's like you have the feminist angle of like, why do you have the men out here?
Yeah.
There was also, and it was one of those like, okay, women get a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
Which is also
Dope.
incredible, right? Like, we're still going to keep going up. But we're gonna have a tag match and just remind you that the women can only fight the women and the men can only fight the men. So it's one of those
maybe even more awkward by the presence of
one step back.
Lana.
Yeah.
Of Lana,
Yeah.
Which and that was the worst part of the whole thing because Lana totally embodies the old diva approach.
Yeah.
So then involving her in that made it extremely awkward, and then they kept doing a couple little mini promos along the way. So yeah, I just thought that was kind of not necessary in the first place, and then in poor taste after.
Which is why I kind of think it falls in line with the Vince booking comment that you made. Because
Yeah.
it just feels very like someone came in and said, well, no, we need to do this.
We need to give that monthly Roman bump, you know? Yeah.
Also,
I had a note that says, Roman Reigns kale salad.
Yeah.
The McDonald's kale salad, nobody wants kale. You can slather as much Caesar dressing as you want, right?
I'm a
We don't want
vegetarian, I
Roman.
hate fucking kale.
Yeah.
It's
Turn
disgusting.
Roman into a McRib, aka make him a heel, and we'll fucking eat that shit up.
Yeah.
But keeping him as is,
it's not gonna work.
It's not
gonna work. And then, honestly,
take off the stupid vest at least.
Also, now that you guys kind of brought it up, I'm kind of surprised, the whole Lana Rusev thing, females need to not be wives or girlfriends in order to be managers. All other male managers, they're there strategically for some reason. They have knowledge. They have things
we see that with a little bit of Jericho and Kevin Owens right now.
Yeah.
Jericho's there to try and elevate himself, even though he's saying he's there for his best friend Kevin Owens.
Yeah. And so they can't add a layer of that to Lana. Even though I get
I feel like Lana's character is evil enough. You could actually play at that. That
I
she's
think
using
pre all
Rusev
the-
to try and get at the women. That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, pre all the kayfabe breaking with the marriage stuff, that would have worked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the angle that they hard stopped in the most awkward fashion was she was with Ziggler now, she was being faced, and then it was just,
Oh, by the way, they got married.
oh, they got married, so she's just back with him.
Yeah,
right?
it's
And
just
since
weird.
then, she's been kind of drifting.
Yeah.
I feel like the only one they got close with, talking about what you're talking about, where a woman is a manager for her own nefarious reasons, was Alexa Bliss with the dubstep
Oh
Duggins.
yeah, that was great.
Because she was,
That was
just there
amazing.
to, and then when they
That
lost,
is the
she's
way you
like,
pull this
"Fuck
off.
you, I don't need you
she
anymore,"
got
right?
what she wanted, which
Yeah.
to elevate herself, and then she left.
It's
That
just
was
I
the
don't
only
need you guys.
example
We're
I can
done.
think of. Can you think of any that were even
No.
close?
No.
I tried to think maybe when AJ's GM, but they still were kind of doing the whole, I'm into crazy chicks kind of thing, right? So there's still aspects of romance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was still AJ kept jumping around from guy to guy.
Yeah, it wasn't. She wasn't.
She kept
stuck
aligning herself to try and
to
keep
elevate her. Yeah.
to elevate herself, and not maybe necessarily elevate, but at least keep her relevant.
Yes.
She kept the storyline interesting because it kept changing, and it was oh, she's crazy, but it maintained her character.
Yeah.
Where this could potentially go is if they brought Lana back as a wrestler, because she did have the one match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And if they were to tie that into the story somehow, that'd be great. I do not think she's a strong enough wrestler
No.
to
Yeah,
be
I don't think so.
in that picture. So this
Yeah.
is a total fucking pipe dream, right?
Yeah.
Booty hose.
But I love what they're doing with the women right now. Let's
Yeah.
talk about bootios.
Yeah, let's bring it back. Let's make it
in
positive.
tights.
Yeah. That's gross.
Yeah.
That's nasty. So.
The progression. So did you watch Xavier's face? The progression is hilarious because he starts off disgusted and then becomes amused as Big E keeps reaching in.
Because he goes
Reaching into
deeper.
he goes
Throwing in.
deeper and deeper and just keeps pulling out the bootios.
It's gross.
They're like crotchios.
Yeah. Oh,
Crotchios.
damn. That's nasty.
That's-
So let's quick. I mean.
Stankios.
Oh, damn.
Don't stop. I mean,
Don't
please
stop.
stop. Please stop. Look, wires crossed.
Twatios.
Oh,
Sorry.
My safe word is keep going.
Tank.
yeah. Nice hint for later.
So let's talk about the cruiserweights because we're really short on time, but
Okay.
Yeah.
So
What's
TJ
going on Raw?
so TJ Perkins is feuding with Brian Kendrick, and this is the only story that's going on with the cruiserweights. Everything else is just kind of just matches. They're great matches, but there's no storylines built in.
They don't have the time.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love TJP's music and his entrance is the bomb.
Loves video games.
And that's cool and that's fine. You don't have to tie that into your gimmicks so much. I feel like it's really forced.
It was cool because it just happened to be this extra awesome thing on top of him being awesome.
Awesome, yeah.
But when you start making that the focal point of your gimmick, that's when it goes awry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you start bringing up N64 and all this other stuff. It's oh come on, man! The whole thing with you is you're better than anybody would ever expect,
Yeah.
Right.
and that's your gimmick. That your gimmick is you're too good, Yeah.
When you started saying it, I was like, I agree. And then I started thinking about other wrestlers' theme songs and things like that. And it's like, they do a little bit with Orton with the voices or whatever.
Yeah, oh, God.
But like, it's like Cena's, like, the lyrics of his rap song are kind of downtoned because they don't want that to be the focus. It's just a song, right? You identify song, person, done.
Sasha's whole song is about her starting at the bottom and now she's like owning the whole fucking building.
Yeah.
And then
Which is funny because it's like Sasha Banks, like she came back as like the character who had all this money, right?
Yeah.
But it still works because her character's evolved to that point.
Yeah. Mark Henry's song is beat him up, break his neck, beat him up, break his neck.
I love Mark Henry's music.
I don't know. I like the Sexual Chocolate song a little bit more.
Yeah, everybody does.
I mean, they both work. It's Mark Henry.
Yeah, it's Mark Henry.
So I made a note about Brian Kendrick using the ring.
Oh, yeah.
He's such a fucking
He
awesome...
took the fingers from TJ Perkins and shoved them in the bolts in the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
And then just started like...
Wrenching it.
And I'm like, that is so smart because that's a part of the ring that as a fan you never really care about.
Yeah.
But you know that it's like it's there and there's fucking screws there, man. That hurts.
It's metal and
and it's not the only like we saw it throughout the entire Cruiserweight Classic
Using the
where
ropes.
He'd use the ring apron, he'd use the ropes, he'd use particular different parts of the ropes. He was just really awesome, and I love watching him in the ring. And
I like his gimmick too. I like the Brian Kendrick gimmick is awesome. Like I just don't like the story that they're really trying to play out.
Greasy Jack Sparrow, what was he called?
Greasy Jack Sparrow.
Also,
we've also been force-fed the CWC storyline multiple times because they can't assume you've watched CWC, which is fair. But I'm sick of hearing about how they used to carpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still gonna give him time just because I knew it took time for the women, and like we're at a amazing place now with them, right? Like eventually, it's just gonna be fucking crazy.
Yep.
So let's go to this week's Raw.
Oh
yeah.
Well, actually, we kind of just do that. Let's do a KO Jericho love fest here.
Oh my god, fucking, I love this, right? Like. One of my favorite things.
The nuance is the best part, right?
The little nuances. Like my favorite part from this last episode was when they say, "Well, I want a private jet. Like if I ask for a private jet, can I get a private jet?" It's Team Chris and Kevin. And then later on in this segment, Kevin's like, "Yeah, I want a private jet with Team Kevin and Chris." And there's no comment that they swapped the names. It just happens.
Yep.
Or like when Stephanie says, "Yeah, Chris, you're going to be in the match, and if you win, it's going to be a triple threat." And then you just see him slowly just scratch off Stephanie's name from the list. Like just little things, right?
Or if any of them is Universal Champion, they're both Universal Champion.
Yeah, I love it, and it's
they're riding the whole New Day thing. It's like, well, we're both Universal Champions.
No, KO looks over like with that look in his eyes. It's like, well, only really if it's me.
Right. That it's like the moment that this. Well, it's going to be funny.
The inevitable destruction.
I really want Jericho to win it, and then for Kevin Owens to start doing all the same things that Jericho did.
Yeah.
But like over the top and rubbing it in his face, like, "Oh yeah, remember? Like we're both the champion now. That's right. That's what you said." I also love Kevin Owens in a suit.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Awesome.
I love. There was the Ashton Kutcher segment, which I was like, "This is going to be terrible."
Yeah.
But then Jericho says, "You're going to get." Walks around the camera, comes the other side. And it totally saved this segment.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, Jericho's
they're doing great work.
fire.
Like, this is like why I want him to get like a little bit of a bump here, title run, Universal shot, whatever.
Yep.
Because he's earned it. It's awesome.
And it's funny
He
too.
came in when they really needed him. Everybody's hurt.
And you know what's so funny?
He's wrestled 26 years now.
Yeah.
Like they said on Raw.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny is that he like in probably a few months or so he's gonna leave.
Yeah.
You know, it's time. It's that time again. You know, Jericho has to leave.
So he'll do one more feud and then probably go on his way, I guess.
I think they won't end the friendship, but he'll go away, and then something will happen later.
This will be me a little bit of speculating, but I totally foresee like a Kevin Owens versus Jericho Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Let's
do that, please. So, in what is, I think, turning out to be like a new mini segment, since I think the last 2 episodes I've said this, here's the 3rd one, the Corey Graves quote of the week. This one is, he says to Byron, "Hey Byron, you make Ken Bone look like Mick Jagger."
Yep. That's
pretty awesome.
Fucking amazing.
Like the quickness, the cultural reference, the delivery, the constant picking on Byron.
Yes.
It's like there's so much about that quote that is just like, this is Corey Graves in a nutshell. He just is so good at this. Like I can't imagine Corey Graves staying a wrestler. Like if he didn't get constantly concussed.
Yeah.
and he had stayed a wrestler, like
Yeah.
we would have been missing out on this.
Yeah.
So here's a question: do you think? So Corey Graves to me, awesome.
Awesome.
Morrow, awesome at play-by-play.
Oh, I love Morrow.
I don't necessarily know if they would work as a tandem. I think Morrow and DB, like for Cruiserweight, was awesome, right?
Yeah.
The unbridled enthusiasm. JBL kind of dead weight, whatever. But like, I don't know. Like, what do you think? Would Morrow Corey Graves work?
I think it would, because Corey Graves came in and made Michael Cole work.
That's true.
Yep.
Like, Corey Graves is good.
He's up to
and
Michael
I've seen
Cole's
him
game,
with
kinda.
Tom Phillips. I've
Yeah.
seen him with Byron Saxton. I've seen him with, whoever the fuck. He's a great commentator
Yep.
regardless. And I feel like that's a testament to who he is and how he perceives the commentator role working within the group. Because it's not just like a one-off thing, right? Like, I think that's why we hate JBL, is JBL's playing the character himself. He's not trying to think of how JBL fits within, Otunga and Ronaldo.
Right.
My gripe with JBL is that he's just wildly inconsistent.
Yeah, and he's just all over the place.
He just doesn't, like, he's king without, being a sexist asshole.
Yeah, he's just an asshole.
Yeah.
We need a speed run.
All right.
Run through it.
Get your jollies off, Mick Foley. Go.
Mick Foley suit.
Oh man, Mick Foley's suit.
Oh my
suit, Mick
god.
Foley beard,
And I'm
Mick Foley
like that
hair.
beard.
I am so excited for the holiday season this year.
Oh my God, he's
because
gonna
we're
be
gonna get Mick Foley
Santa.
every fucking week on Raw.
Santa.
Santa Mick Foley.
I'm happy for that, while also like kind of quietly dreading and waiting for the inevitable force feed of his daughter upon us.
Oh, God. Oh, why would you
shit,
say
that's
that?
right.
Sorry, I gotta keep
completely
things
forgot.
Don't say her name
Yin and yang.
too much.
Sheamus is hot garbage.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that Sheamus is hot garbage. I love that Biggie calls back to Cesaro's old gimmick. Like, did you know he can
He knows-
speak 5 languages? And that he's lit. Like, he's awesome. Or, like, he just starts, like, talking him up, right?
Yeah.
He's doing the thing that, he's doing the thing that Paul Heyman does really, really well.
Yes.
They're building up this guy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, we're clearly going to be fighting these guys. This guy's really awesome. But yeah, his partner's hot garbage.
Yeah.
So clearly they can't both be good. So
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, why are you here? What are you doing? So yeah, now we get Paul Heyman back
Yep.
on Raw.
Let's do it.
Which I
Yeah.
love.
In the like slowest orchestrated comeback ever. Like the second he was in the video game, all roads led to this.
Oh, the Goldberg?
Yeah.
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 I mean, they did that with Sting, so this was obvious.
Yeah. Of course. But it's cool. It also gives you a thing to, how are they going to do it, right?
I like also that they keep calling back to the ESPN thing.
Yeah.
Like, they're really digging into the whole off the top rope with Coach, which I like, because it legitimizes the sport a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what this really means.
Okay.
This really means
Is we get a match
this is Goldberg's going to get hurt, right?
with Goldberg and Brock Lesnar.
Where Brock Lesnar gets hurt.
Okay, hold on. But
Everybody gets hurt. You're gonna get hurt, and you're gonna get hurt, and everyone's gonna
My
get hurt.
feelings are going to get hurt.
so Goldberg
That's a good point,
is
though.
50 years old.
Yeah.
He
And
looks good for 50.
Yeah.
but he has not wrestled in
And he's
12
admitted
years.
that.
And then on top of that, you have Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Lesnar, I don't know if anybody's been noticing, but his matches have not been good. Like,
And
as
he
much
hurts
as-
people. They
and he
both
hurts
hurt people.
Yeah, so they both hurt people.
Yes.
And they both haven't been having any sort of good matches,
So they're going to like spontaneously combust in the ring.
which is what happened last time they fought.
I got a better. Here's what they should have done. Roman versus Goldberg. They both spear each other. They both die and save us.
Yeah. But like this is the countdown. Like the Brock Lesnar Goldberg match is the countdown to letdown. Like there's nothing good about it that's going
Did you
to
come up
happen.
with that line yourself?
Countdown to letdown. That's a thing on.
Oh, okay.
I was
That's a
gonna say,
hashtag
like,
right
ooh.
there.
Yeah.
Damn.
No. I've said that for years.
Ray's a good
Countdown to
man.
letdown.
Giving people credit.
Yeah.
Good
no.
job, Ray.
Yeah. Internet, you came up with that one.
Yeah.
I might have just taken it. I don't know.
Right before I cut this off, I just want to say how awesome I thought it was that when Dana Brooke attacked Bailey, the two-man deflated and
Yes!
just looked very sad on top of her.
It was like
It's like a complete accident that makes Dana Brooke look awesome. All right, so this is going to wrap it up for this week. If you like the podcast, you can find us on Twitter at OnTheHeelsWP and on Facebook.com/OnTheHeelsWP. You can find our podcast through lots of different services like iTunes and SoundCloud and YouTube.
and subscribe to all of them and give us comments, give us 5-star ratings, and more importantly, tell your friends about the podcast.
Please.
You can message us, comment on stuff, tweet at us, ask us random wrestling stuff.
I do want to make note that
Ask us.
the last 321 show, there was a guy who came up to me and said that like he really loves our podcast, and I loved hearing that. And
Yeah,
it's
makes me feel
like
good.
we all do. Like I immediately texted Ray and Kyle because they weren't there, and I'm like, oh my god, we just got a fan. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So thanks for bringing it up, guys. It's super awesome. We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, yeah. Thanks for listening, downloading, using all your bandwidths. Tune in to our next episode where we'll be covering a bunch of random stuff in our first ever On the Heels Grab Ass Grab Bag.
Grab bag!
We're not sure what, but it should be a doozy. And after that, we'll ask ourselves the eternal question.
What is it?
Did Paige's dad stab Del Rio?
Fuck.
This shit got dark.
I mean, too many suspensions. Come on. Del Rio's a bad influence.
She's like suspended again.
Air quotes, wellness policy.
Fucking the wellness of fucking
now-
Del Rio's ribs.
It's the wellness of cover-ups.
I'm just, Paige was doing so.
Yeah.
On the